I also invite Serhad and Angelique. Așadar, avem doi oameni cheie de la Facebook pe scenă, avem un om cu experiență vastă în piețe mult mai dezvoltate decât a noastră. Vă invit să profitați de asta și să adresați întrebări. Sunt colegi cu microfoane în sală. Cine? So, questions? Anybody? Take a seat. So, I have a question right there.
Hello. My name is Colin. Sometimes when I open Facebook, I think that there is a lot of bullshit content there, non-words, and everybody can say anything. I could, of course, filter what I see, but in the same time, maybe you could take into consideration limiting the amount of things that somebody could say during a day, in order to give them the chance to say, to weight their words more. So if I am to use my mana today, I will use it in a better way.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, that's exactly what we do, right? So first off, you're right, you should filter, and I unfriend a lot of people that just speak too much on Facebook. That's just how it is. If a page really gets in my nerves by posting constantly things that don't really matter to me, and somehow they go past the algorithm, then I take the action. I think this is exactly why we have an algorithm. If you compare Facebook to some of the other feeds in the world, the other feeds are usually just chronological. They show you everything that you are subscribed to or follow, etc. Whereas Facebook was born on the idea of newsfeed, right? Newsfeed has an algorithm that looks at whether or not you're engaging with certain types of content, and this is why it matters to marketers as well, right? So as a marketer, you're basically in a race with people's family, their friends, their pets, their favorite media, their video games, and yourself. So if you see a lot of content that's not really interesting you, maybe you should stop clicking on it, is what I say, or just actually go ahead and filter. But if you look at the core technology of Facebook, it is newsfeed, and it is an algorithm that tries to get you the most relevant content. And that's why it's so important for advertisers and marketers to create good content, to engage people. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I do. So we think about that all the time, because from a marketer's perspective, the minute your content isn't engaging, you actually don't show up in the algorithm anymore. So we take that into account. And I completely agree with you. If there's anyone doing marketing who's throwing up like 5 status updates a day, you might want to rethink that one. We've actually spent about 6 months figuring out the optimal times to hit the different time zones that we want to. So we run about 25 brand channels on Facebook. Some of them we do in multilingual, some of them we still just only do in English. And we will pinpoint particular times and how many times we can post per day. Our optimum is twice a day, normally 10 o'clock in the morning, so we hit Europe, and then 5, 6 o'clock in the evening for the US and sort of South America. That's how we look at it. The minute we post more than 3, engagement plummets. So for us as a brand, it varies on certain titles, but for us, that's how we really learn to do it, because our audience is very tech savvy and they know how to hit that ignore button, block button, and we want to avoid that. So we always try to make something interesting, something we know they're going to like, but bombarding them is not what we do. We don't believe in spamming, and I think any company that is spamming you on Facebook, I say block them, because it's not worth your time and they're doing a bad job marketing themselves. Sorry, but that's how I think.
Well, I think everything was just said. Please unsubscribe from the content you don't like. That's it. You can control it. It's designed in a way you should be able to have content you like.
Thank you. Alte întrebări? Mai avem acolo în partea respectivă. Partea respectivă înseamnă că nu știu sigur care e stânga și care e dreapta. Cred că e stânga. Ultima oară când am vrut. Domnul de acolo. Ori n-avem întrebări, avem prea multe. Hai, vă rog.
Hello.
Să vă prezentați și...
My name is Bogdan. I'm curious if you know what is Facebook market share globally and who is the main competitor.
Market share in what? Users, revenue?
Yeah, both.
Everything. You want to know everything, but you want to tell me nothing. No, so I don't have any numbers for you because you could look at it in 17 different ways, right? So it could be users, it could be engagement, it could be amount of time spent. If you look at Veronika's example, for example, if you look at mobile, ComScore just did a study in mobile smartphones in the US where they saw that 1/5 of time spent on smartphones was spent either on Facebook or on Instagram. But I mean, there's just so many ways to cut this data that I couldn't tell you. And as far as advertising revenues, I think a better way to look at it is just online the other researches, because I don't think us giving that number would be a fair number. But as you know, more than 1 billion users, they're active monthly. That is a huge group of people. It's one of the biggest presences online, and it's the biggest social network online. She's got nothing to add to that.
Altă întrebare?
No idea.
Can we go to the back over there?
Hi, my name is Ludwig. I'm managing director at Tuyo. We're an agency which basically does 95% of our projects on Facebook. And you spoke about brands' obsessions with click-through rates and gathering fans. And basically, even though we do most of our projects on Facebook, we have a lot of clients that are basically physical stores. I'll mention one, for example, Sephora is one of our biggest clients. And I think because it's very hard to track offline conversions, and online conversions, at least with some of our clients, are still very limited. I think that's how the sort of obsession for click-through rates has developed and for gathering fans, because otherwise it's very hard to track. And we have developed some mechanisms which permit tracking online to offline conversions, but I think if you guys provided some case studies in this direction, that would be extremely helpful for us to pitch this different kind of approach, focusing on real metrics in the future.
Of course. So Angelique, maybe you have some things, but let me give you an example, right? So an unnamed UK retailer, so like Mega Image, but in the UK, basically for Christmas, what do you sell in the UK? You sell turkeys. So what they did was they used their loyalty card program as a way to get the data. So they looked at everyone that bought turkeys last year, and they took that data and they divided it into 80% and 20%. To 80%, they did a marketing campaign using custom audiences, and 20% they intentionally left off and they didn't send them a message. So to the 80%, they said, well, great, here's a turkey campaign. And they saw that those 80% bought more turkeys than the 20%, right? Now, we cannot give you, for every single retailer, a solution, an exact setup. However, if you think between view tags, between custom audiences, between Facebook Open Graph and integration with loyalty programs, there is a vast amount of things that a digital agency can do to actually integrate the system. So I think one of the key ways to do it is to integrate the loyalty program or the membership program with the Facebook information, and then use things like custom audiences to measure. If you can't do any of that, I mean, even think of, I gave this example 3 months ago as well. So you're in Romania, you have stores in 5 different cities. Just do a marketing campaign in one city only and see how it changes your activities. That's so easy to do, but you have to put the right amount of effort into it, right? So you can't really spend 500 euros in Bucharest and try to make a difference in your sales, right? So if you're trying to increase your sales by $20,000, well, you have to put in something that is equivalent. But I think this is where your creativity and your upskilling as measurement experts comes in. And sometimes you just have to think outside the box. We're in Central and Eastern Europe. We're not as fortunate as, say, a US or UK in terms of the technology that's provided, right? In the US, there's a system called Data Logics. They can show you exactly who saw an ad and bought it from a store. But we're not going to get that for another 5 years. maybe not ever, because of the size of the market. However, you as marketing professionals do have the tools, and that's what we're trying to make available, more and more tools. And you'll see more coming, and we'll try our best to share more and more case studies of things like that.
Cool.
How do you track?
Well, you know, I'm not all about the numbers, which I know is not great for you because you need the numbers. But I do have two examples for you. So, again, the UK market, which perhaps can help you, but Starbucks. So in the UK, I'm not sure if you've seen what Starbucks do, but they launch new products, they launch new drinks, and they just target you with advertising. You just print out the code and you go in store. It happens every 2 to 3 months. You walk through London, and there's about 100 to 150 people queued outside of Starbucks. So if you just Google it, Starbucks has got tons of case studies on that, and I think that's one of the sort of an easier one. And then actually, again, in a more developed market like the US, we actually did a promotion, because you know Facebook has those promotion ads that you can run, where you can get like 10 or 50 or 30% off. So actually for Resident Evil 6, we ran one in Germany, the UK, and the US with a particular retailer. All you had to do was click on it, purchase it, and you could pick it up in store or have it delivered. And the way we got that through, because sometimes I feel like I'm in the same position as an agency, because not everyone in my organization gets digital. Like sometimes it is a bit of a battle, and when you can tie it straight to that point that you're getting people into the store and you can show them how simple it can be done, it really helps. So I put my Twitter name up. It's @AngeluqueSC. If you want me to send you some more information, just just tweet me and I'll send it to you. Hopefully those two can help you out. Do you want to add to it? Yeah?
Just on the point of the case studies, there is a couple interesting ones. For example, Clinic Turkey and Maggie, which is FMCG brand in Germany. So we can share it and you can maybe learn from them as well.
Anyway, I recommend you to use facebookstudio.com too. You can find case studies there and so on and so forth. And also, if you have very specific things, you can also email Think Digital in Romania, and we can provide you different case studies that we already gathered together from international markets or even from Romania, and we can share. The online conversion and offline conversion is a thing we try to follow and track as much as possible, and it's a interesting session after the lunch break where we will discuss a lot more about e-commerce and performance marketing using Facebook. Some other questions? Cred că nu se aude microfonul domnișoarei. Am să vin eu acolo ca să... Merge?
I don't know. It's good now, yeah. Okay. My name is Elena, and I want to ask a question from a marketer point of view, because I started to work with Facebook ads this year, and for years I've been working with AdWords ads, and it was good. I was used with AdWords Editor and so on. What I feel now with Facebook ads is like we kind of miss some tools, and Power Editor is not as good as I would like to see it. And also reporting, it's also missing some dimensions I would like to see. So in this direction, do you plan to do something new? Because I've seen some changes in Power Editor recently, but still is not very good for marketers. And I think when you have to deal with many clients and you need to make changes right away, it's kind of hard to manage this kind of changes. So in this direction, do you plan anything to make our lives easier?
Yeah, so well, there is already technology in place for ads optimization, page insights, and I will probably let Serhad tell more about this.
Well, obviously, you don't think the answer is going to be no. We're going to leave it as is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but when is going to happen?
So it is one of our biggest focus areas right now. I mean, Facebook has dedicated more engineering resources on developing interfaces and making it easier to use Facebook. So, however, to do that, first we have to build the infrastructure, which you can see better half of this year. We've done a lot of work that you don't see, but that is actually making the system better. And then you should see over the next 6 to 12 months a lot of changes that are going to just simplify the way that you can use Facebook and its tools. Now, I want to reiterate though that there is going to be several layers to access Facebook, right? So our own interfaces is one. Being able to just go to your page and click on the promote is the most primitive one. Then there's the Ads Manager and Power Editor. However, we were built as a platform company, which means that we admitted at some point in our life cycle that we cannot do everything that needs to be done. And we said, okay, we're going to open a platform and we're going to open APIs and we're going to let developers come in and build these tools. And that's why we have a program called the Preferred Marketing Developer Program. And these companies build tools to actually go to the second level. There's the beginner, medium to intermediate, advanced, and then like super advanced. They build the super advanced tools. They build the agency-friendly tools or multiple client systems or like very advanced optimization. And what our role is, we constantly improve our technology to push them even further, right? So it's the same system that was built on search. It's the company itself builds some tools, but we open the platform to other companies to build the technologies. And at some point, you'll get to a breaking point where you say, okay, well, Facebook's own technology got me this far, but maybe if I used such and such additional technology, that life could be better for me. And I would get better results, improve my ROI, etc. So yes, of course, we're working on this. The interface and ability to use usability is one of the top priorities for us. And then at the same time, there is a place there for the preferred marketing developers, the technology companies that build on our platform, because that's just our philosophy, is that we're a platform. We're not going to try to build everything ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's the case. There are a lot of third-party tools that even can combine Facebook with other mediums. If you want some details, you also can message me on the Facebook and I can explain. You can follow a campaign in a cross-channel and multi-channel way, not only multi-channel but cross-channel way, and you can integrate and see how Facebook fits in the overall strategy. So there are tools. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. So I know exactly how you feel, because I was in that position. I was like, Facebook feels like a little mouse, right? So some of the companies, especially in the UK, and again, apologies, I'm not proficient in what companies are here, but there's a company that's pretty much like an elephant, and it's called Salesforce. We knew them way before, and if you want analytics, that's gonna literally like send your heart racing, because I'm a data geek as well. They're awesome. Like, they integrate into absolutely everything, from when you post to when you run your advertising. Like, it's unbelievable the amount of information they can give you. And also for me, it was so frustrating because I couldn't get a good drill down locally. Because if I put a global post, I wanted to know where there's advertising, where there's not. How are Germans responding in comparison to French people? And they can give you such an insight. So again, I'm not too sure who's based in Romania, but they're really worthwhile working with, even if it's for 6 or 8 months, just to really see how their platforms can add value to what you're doing. Because as the guys from Facebook mentioned, it is quite a limited platform, You have to unfortunately pay a little bit to get that next level of insight. So I really do recommend giving them a try.
Thank you. Other questions? Last question? Somebody? Okay, please.
Hi, my name is Sergio. I've been working with Facebook ads, both with actual ads and with promoted posts. And what I've seen is a lot more engagement and end results within the promoted posts. Personally, I also use an ad blocker, and I've heard about more and more people using ad blockers. So do you see ad blockers as an issue, and do you see a shift towards newsfeed items versus actual ads, display ads on Facebook?
I'll let you guys start.
She let us start. So ad block is a tiny issue. Within this room, we're a very different set of people than the people on the streets. However, what you're describing there is the difference between newsfeed and right-hand side, right? And newsfeed, by far, it is the best place to get ROI on Facebook at the moment. It is where people are paying all of their attention. If we're in the attention economy, and this is where people are. They're in their newsfeed on their mobile phone, standing right there, right now, looking through their newsfeed. This is your chance to reach them. That's why you're getting so much more engagement and so much more returns when you do activity in newsfeed. And this is what we've been trying to ingrain in people's minds, and I'm glad you're seeing the results. So I think it's a lot less about ad blocking. It's just where the placement is, right? So newsfeed is that is the core experience on Facebook. It's where you come, you look at content, things that interest you, and we give the brands the ability to be there, and that's why you're seeing better results. So, and ad blockers, I'm not that concerned about it at the moment. It is still a very small group of people that are using them that hasn't necessarily significantly affected us to the point where we even want to intervene.
Yeah, I think just on that, I mean, from our perspective, we tend to buy more in the news feed than on the side. And like I said, if you want to block us, go ahead, but seriously, go ahead. It just means we have to be better marketers, At the end of the day, if we're making you angry, you don't like it, dude, feel free, we've just got to get better. So I think in terms of that, and I think, yeah, okay, there's ad blocking apps, but at the end of the day, like, how many people are going to go through that trouble? Do you know what I mean? I think they'll just end up leaving the Facebook platform in the end. So I think it is one of those ones where, you got to pick your advertising and then just make sure that your marketing campaign is shit hot. I think that's how you got to kind of look at it.
Yeah, I think just the last thing to highlight the newsfeed importance. 40% of time is being spent over there, so I think Angeluque has used the keyword. Just make it attractive, make it engaging for people. That's it.
Serhad, Angeluque, Weronika, thank you very much. Please. Vă mulțumesc foarte mult, aproape că nu vine să cred că suntem exact conform programului. Urmează o pauză, ne revedem la 13:30 pe această scenă. Vom vorbi foarte mult despre performance marketing, vom vorbi despre Facebook pentru e-commerce. Deci fiți aici la 13:30, va fi interesant. Vă mulțumesc pentru atenție.